Hello. Can I speak to your manager about an issue? No? Oh, no. How about corporate? Sure, it'd be the worst if you had to lose your job over a silly issue like that. Have you heard something like that? Yes, the Karens. That's who they are. They're the ones that are like, I don't care if half of it is gone and the rest is unusable. What type of service are you providing? It just doesn't make sense. So we're back with more Karens today. And yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm Abby, a white woman from the suburbs, so I know what it is to be a Karen. So come kick back with me as I bring you top 10 scary Karens who went too far. If you like this, spend a little more time with me and throw in a playlist. Just maybe do that. Alright, let's start off at number 10. We have Banshee Karen. So this one hurts your ears from all the yelling.
Who gave you permission? Oh, you just did an illegal phone! Then you always work here alone!
I have never been here in my life.
That's a lie!
This woman approaches a group or a person, couple people, it's kind of unsure, and she's yelling about who gave them permission to be there. She's screaming, I need your names, what's your name and number, and accuses them of doing illegal activities. When they say they don't come around here often, you've never seen them, and no, we don't do those things, she just screams, that's a lie! I assume they were taking photos around that point because from that point on, the woman asked for the camera and the film from them and she wants them to get out. They just keep asking for clarity on what they did wrong, and her reasons are trespassing, illegal photographs, and they are not allowed. And another reason that she says for them to get out is you've been yelled at. It doesn't really make too much sense or logic. So anyways, the people say that they'll leave, but the woman is saying that no, they won't truly leave until she does something to stop it. And that kind of sounds like a threat to me, and it's definitely too far. Moving on to number 9, we have Contagious Karen. So this woman is in a store and the store has refused to give her service. She took out her camera to record the situation, feeling as if she was in the right.
You're refusing me service when I'm wearing this. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits over this. You're all sheep and you're all idiots. It's toxic to breathe in carbon dioxide the whole time in a mask.
So the situation is that she wasn't wearing a mask and then held a small American flag on her face and was still refused service. They ask her to leave because against company policy, and she says that there are going to be a lot of lawsuits over issues like these. The employees say, that's fine, please leave, and I assume, again, because store policy says people are not allowed in the store without a mask on. Then the woman raises her voice to say it is not a law to wear masks and that people in there are all sheep and idiots. Calling people names now, I see. And then she says it's toxic to breathe in carbon dioxide. And yes, please note, while high levels of carbon dioxide is bad for humans, masks having anything to do with that has been thoroughly debunked. So anyways, after she says that last part, she obnoxiously coughs on her way out. Can you imagine the level of ignorance and lack of care for others to risk someone else's life just by coughing on them to illustrate a point? I was just kind of shocked, honestly. Moving on to number 8, the car protector. On a suburban street, a woman is yelling at what looks to be a teen on a bicycle.
Girl.
Holy Karen! I want everything. Stop filming.
What a camera.
Take a picture of this. Take the picture.
The woman yells that the teen touched her car and how could she? And the teen denies that they even touched the car, but that's just ignored. The woman rants about how much a car costs and starts pacing and yelling at the biker more. And she yells, I want everything, and then she sees that she's being filmed and she flips at that and brings out her own phone to try to highlight that there's a scratch on her car and is just yelling a lot about it the entire time. First, if there's a scratch as small as the one that they were trying to show and I couldn't even see, it's worth it to calm down. Cars are a utility to go from one place to another and just chat with who you're leasing from if it's like that much of an issue. And also, what type of response do you expect to get when you are yelling and cursing at someone, especially a kid? A good one? No! Do you think it's gonna help the situation? Probably not. Moving on to number 7, retail returns. So a manager in a retail store was working cash one day when a woman came in to return a shirt. The woman acts like all is well when the worker takes out a heavily soiled shirt. The worker says that they obviously can't take the shirt back, and the lady makes a scene. She's screaming at this cashier, accusing them of calling her a liar. The worker just points at the stains, just to be like, it's not clean. And then the woman asks to speak to the manager, and the worker got to say, yeah, I'm the manager. Of course, the woman doesn't like that answer and rants for another 20 minutes about calling corporate before she leaves. A couple days later, her husband comes in to apologize for his wife, saying that he did interval training on a beach in the shirt and his wife tried to return it after he said he didn't really like it. So yeah, that's a bit much for wanting to return a t-shirt, in my opinion. Moving on to number 6, a spitting image. So a man is recording a woman in her car from his car window. He was at a place delivering a pizza and she told him to get out of here. She yells that it is private property and that he is trespassing.
I was delivering my pizza and what were you saying?
Get out of here.
Why?
This is private property and you're trespassing.
I'm delivering a pizza.
Yeah.
Will you please get out of my way? Are you serious?
It's like she isn't even listening when he says he is there to deliver a pizza and then going, and she just keeps yelling for him to get out. She leans her elbows on the open window of her car and sits up a little bit to be out, and then just spits at him. And at that point, the guy is done and the video ends. But has this woman maybe like never had a pizza delivered? I don't know what's up with like private property that like food delivery is suspicious and why she's spitting on someone. Like, is that like a power trip? I don't get it. Moving on to number 5. Your bias is showing, Karen. So 4 kids were swimming as guests in an apartment complex at a pool in Virginia. They were guests of the person recording the video and one other person. A Karen walking by thought it was the right thing to do to question if they were trespassing.
Do you live here?
Lexi's my guest. She's playing with them.
You can't do that. Guests cannot be here without that person being in the pool.
The person recording the video says that they have seen this woman walk by while all their guests were around and just didn't question it. But this time she's walking around, she's calling out if they live there and that they should give proof to her. The person who posted the video assumes it's because this time the guests are black. And this woman is calling out on it and has no authority to do it and is doing it this time. So when the group of people by the pool say that they are guests, the woman says no. She just says no, and that they can't do that? Anyways, the person who posted the video said the woman even went to the extent of calling the police when the building manager's number went to voicemail. The police said, like, come down to the station and fill out an A&F report if you're that upset. She didn't get what she wanted in the end. Cause people are having fun in a pool. Peacefully. Let it be. And also, question why you're calling out this group when you let other guests doing it. Check yourself. Moving on to number 4. Karen smash. A woman breaks an art piece in a fit of rage at what appears to be an art gallery or an art show. We don't get to see much of what is leading up to this. The woman is holding a sculpture and yelling at a man behind a table. The colorful apple piece is just held for a moment before she raises it above her head and just slams it on the floor. The employee reaches out for it, but the woman is just too fast. It shatters on the floor and the man's jaw just drops. What the woman is saying can't really be heard over the music put over top of the video, but she does not seem happy at all. Like, I don't know who the artist of the piece was, but that just made me really sad. Definitely an overreaction on that woman's part. Moving on to number 3, we have a customer service call. So a person who once worked for a phone company shared their Karen story online. They were being trained for a new part in their service and were listening to pre-recorded phone calls. The call they listened to was a call that happened to a supervisor in that call center about 10 minutes before the training. A Karen type called into the company complaining that her son swapped her name with an unknown female on his phone's 5 favorite numbers list, and she wanted the phone company to change it back. When the supervisor told her that they cannot legally do that since it's not her phone, she just flipped on him. She was screaming and shouting accusations, and the thing is, she was calling from a store in her local mall, and those store employees were telling her to calm down, but she wouldn't. And on the supervisor's side of the phone, they hear that she's under arrest. The phone drops, and the next thing the supervisor hears is a salesperson who grabs the phone and says, "Sorry about that, no need to worry about it, she's arrested." So definitely went too far, arrested in a store for just flipping out over her son's list. Moving on to number 2, the ladder conundrum. So it's kind of hard to hear, right, since the screams are so high pitched, but I can parse out, "Take that ladder off my property."
No, it's not on your property.
Take it off!
It's off, look.
It's on my side. Take it off.
The woman screeched that a couple times before the man behind the camera yells no and says it's not his property, so it's a pretty heated argument on both sides, and she walks away and keeps yelling about it. At this point it's just a screaming battle between 2 neighbors where a ladder is. And it looks like it's between attached townhouses and it's visibly not impairing the entrance to the woman's garage or blocking any windows, and I'm unsure of how this argument escalated to this point over a ladder, but this woman's heated. I'm guessing they had issues over like raked leaves or decorations at one point or another, and that tension just built up to this point. There's big clash. Moving on to number 1, fast food fire. So a fast food worker was accused by a woman of intentionally messing up her order, and that woman called the state government to report it. So a woman had ordered a double cheeseburger without onions at the ordering window, and the cashier rang it up. She came around again to say it was given onions at the pickout window, and the cashier printed out the original receipt to show that, yeah, that was how the order was put in, and told the lady to bring it to the next window to get a fresh new one. The woman did that, got her new burger, apology, went on her way. But it didn't end there. there. She called the Food Safety Department, the Chamber of Commerce, and the governor's office demanding that this fast food worker had to get fired. And it turns out she was allergic to onions and said the worker was trying to poison her and printed out a fake duplicate receipt. That's just a long way to go for onions. And like, I have an allergy, I know, but in the end, for this, the manager defended the worker, so it all worked out. You don't need to go that far for an allergy. I can't have gluten. Just chill. And that's all the stories we have for the day. If you like this, pop on a playlist, like, share, and subscribe. And I've been your host, Abby Kelly. This has been Top 10 Scary Karens Who Went Too Far, and I hope you have a great day. Be kind. Bye.